Hi, Eddie Marcus again. Before I check uh, out for the day, I got another note I want to leave with you. You know, no human has the answer to our social problems. I say that because so often we find people wondering what is the answer. You have guys who want to be leaders of organizations, and their idea is what is the answer. Nothing's wrong with that. I mean, that is number one. That's what everybody should be thinking. What is the answer? My point is that every one of us are thinking that, whether we want to admit it or whether we even concerned about it. It's on our mind. My reason for mentioning this is that I want you to know, those who are least concerned about it, is that the answer is not amongst any of us per se. All we have is what we want. And that's good enough. Every last one of us know what satisfies us, what we want. But believe it or not, when it comes down to what we want in relationship to others, what we want is biased. It is prejudicial and it is unacceptable. It's inappropriate and unacceptable. Well, there's only one way. Now, you've heard me say that. And yet, should I say anyone's way to be acceptable is to be lined up with what I call God. Now, let me explain what I mean when I say lined up with God. Your way, my way, being acceptable. Because I just said it was unacceptable. It was bias and prejudice. But if it's lined up with God, it's acceptable. Think about it like this. You know, those of you who are familiar with dialing on a radio station or television stations, you know, things, they don't use them that much now, but they used to use dials. So when you were looking for a station, you would turn the dial. Sometimes you would be hearing cross messed up stuff, maybe crossing some station that you might not have been looking for, or you might just hear some scratches. But eventually, if you keep turning the dial, you would line up with that station that you're trying to reach, and everything would come in clear, very clear. You say, oh, there it is. That's WKOJ or WEBM, or whatever station you're looking for. And now the communication is coming from where it's being sent from to you, the receiver. And the reverse operates the same. Where it's being sent from, if it's from you to someone else, it's right there going out the same way because everything is lined up. A telephone is a perfect example of that. Just lined up, and but not lined up, it's not working. So when we say that our ideas is not lined up with the God, that means it's biased and it has to be lined up. Now, let me see if I can get another example of what I'm talking about. You know, people try so hard to enjoy their lives, very hard. But it seems every time you make one step, something else is going wrong. And you say, what is it? What can I do? What's the problem? Now, the truth of the matter is that that problem that exists there is not just happenstance, it's designed to be there. And you say, well, what do you mean it's designed to be there? Well, it's designed to be there to make money. Now, I said that because that's the most obvious thing that uh, excuse that we give for the various things that we do. It makes money, makes money. If you weren't making money, you wouldn't do it. But you make money, you make money. So here again, these are the kinds of things that are designed to be installed in systems that are designed by people are individuals or groups that have left God out. It's not lined up with God. So all of these kinds of things happen. If it's lined up with God, if it's lined up with truth and love, the proper way, these things could not exist. And at that same time, these problems where you say you're trying to go from A to Z, but it always seems something occur, they are not there. Why? Because you've learned the secrets of life. What you did, you lined up with God. What is that? when you say line up with God. God designed everything that it would work perfectly. And so when you line up with God, you'll understand that the same things that will bring you happiness, basically, though they might be different in individuals, these basically are similar to a degree, and it is necessary to bring them their happiness. And as I often say when we talk about having your needs, your wants, and your desires met. That's what you talk about being happy. Needs met, wants met, and desires met. My goodness, can't get no better than that. So when you're talking about things like that, you're usually talking about food, clothing, shelter. And now we know how important education is in healthcare and transportation. In fact, we just want to benefit from all things that exist if we want to. Now, if we can do that, then we can live peacefully, prosperous, and joyous. But how do we guarantee that to ourselves? Everybody that participates by benefiting from it engage themselves in the process one way or another by choosing a career that gives you your greatest joy. And all careers are interconnected in such a way that those things that we there as people have determined are essential and necessary for our meeting our needs, wants, and desires. Now we are engaged in the process of making them. The resources come from God, not us. The resources come from God, free. And we just use our gifts and talents and all that other stuff I just mentioned to create an abundance in such a mass that no individual would have to be denied any of these things. So, that's bottom line. You don't have the lying, the cheating, the stealing, the killing, the terror, the racism, the bigotry. So, this is simple for a person who knows God to say these things, but most folks can hear and still not understand, and they'll keep on walking in stuff rather than change. I just thought I'd share that with you, ladies and gentlemen. So have a very good day. Goodbye for now.